The quiet battle of the modern man: why purpose is everything and isolation is dangerous. Consider this. After a long and tiring day, you return home. There is stillness as soon as you unlock the door and enter. There are no footsteps hurrying to meet you. No one is calling your name. There are no lights on. The house is still. Despite being all around you, the walls remain silent. No one else does either. Dinner isn't waiting. No one to inquire about your day. If you attempted to inform them, no one would listen. Your keys fall on the table. Take a seat on the sofa. Look at your phone. Endless diversions include mindlessly scrolling through news, updates, and memes. And in the infrequent times when you are alone with your thoughts, away from the din, you wonder, is this it? Is this the only one? To be clear, I'm not advocating that all men require a partner. I'm not arguing that being alone is always terrible. Learning to be alone and comprehending who you are without interruptions may be a source of strength. You are on a perilous road, though, if you are a man living alone without a significant other, a goal, or a cause that binds you to the outside world. Because a man might drift if he is left to his own devices. Not everything at once. Not in a big way. Slowly, though. Silently. Into anarchy. The slow isolation creep. It seems liberating at first. No one to answer to. No obligations beyond your personal preferences. When and what you consume is up to you. You remain up late. Take a nap. One day, then another, then still another, skip the gym. You call off plans. No, you say. People eventually cease inquiring. Then, unknowingly, you also stop asking. You settle down in the silence. Comfort, however, is misleading. The first indications of degradation might be what appears to be tranquility. Discipline erodes gradually. The structure breaks down. The days are all the same. It's okay, you tell yourself. You convince yourself that this is your decision. In actuality, though, it is picking you. Nobody is present to oppose you. Nobody to ask if you're reaching your full potential. No one to impress, no one to let down. Nobody notices when you don't show up for yourself. That may look like relief. However, it isn't. It's risky. The perilous drift. Men who lack accountability are susceptible to nihilism, indifference, and self-indulgence. What starts off as the occasional idle weekend or missed workout may turn into a stagnant way of life. A guy will eventually become dull if he has no one to keep him sharp. And everything seems meaningless when nothing matters. You start to ask yourself, what's the point? That is nihilism's whisper. The conviction that nothing you do matters. That what you do is irrelevant. That it is irrelevant that you are here. That you are unimportant. From then, it's a quick descent into harmful behaviors. Video games that never stop. Viewing programs in one sitting. Junk food. Porn. Alcohol. Perhaps even narcotics. Anything to make the quiet go away. Anything to make up the difference. However, it never succeeds. Because transient joys cannot replace a spiritual void. Frequently, the lone wolf is praised by the illusion of strength society. The man who can support himself. The solitary genius who is self-sufficient. Furthermore, solitude is not a virtue, although independence is. The distinction between loneliness and being alone is crucial. Choosing isolation or letting it devour you. Isolating oneself can make a man think he's powerful. That he is independent. That no one is necessary for him. Generally speaking, however, this is not strength. It's pride masquerading as fear. It's weakness posing as authority. A man is not made stronger by solace. It weakens him. You become a less than full version of yourself without the strain of relationships, the burden of accountability, and the reflection of another person's imperfections and potential. In all the wrong areas, you soften. The significance of accountability. Being responsible is not a hardship. It's a present. It is difficult, really. It does need work. However, it also provides you with significance, which nothing else can. Your life takes on more weight when you are accountable for something or someone. You can't drift aimlessly anymore. You have to be there. Additionally, by turning there, you transform into someone you were not the day before. A guy who is careless wanders. A responsible man has a solid foundation. Nowadays, a lot of guys steer clear of partnerships because they think they're too demanding. Compromise is excessive. There are too many rules. Too much emotional work. I'd rather be free and single than shackled to something complicated, they convince themselves. The reality is that this apparent freedom frequently conceals a profound, gnawing emptiness. Because a guy is not exhausted by duty. It's what develops him. Although they are difficult, relationships are essential. Convenience and easiness are not important in a genuine connection. It has to do with development. A good lady won't just come into your world without any problems. She will put you to the test. She'll have expectations of you. She will ask you to be kind, powerful, considerate, and consistent. And you will perceive her as the issue if you are not prepared for it. But she is not the problem, your stagnation is. An excellent partner understands your potential and won't put up with mediocrity, not because she's demanding. She will not allow you to coast. She will point out your shortcomings to you. Yes, it might be uncomfortable, but it's also essential. Because a guy who is left alone for too long loses sight of his potential. Why improving oneself must come first. The harsh reality is that you should start by looking inward if you're having trouble finding a meaningful relationship. Don't inquire as to why women are challenging. Don't inquire why relationships aren't working. Ask yourself, am I the type of man that engenders respect, love, and loyalty? Perfection is not something that women want. However, they are searching for men who are making progress. Directional men. Disciplined men. Men who are developing themselves on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Do you look after your physical health? Do you work for your objectives? Do your feelings govern you, or do you govern them? Are you able to hear? Are you able to take the lead? Do you have a life goal in mind? Is that vision being carried out? Stop waiting, start building. These are not just things women desire, they are things you need to respect yourself. So stop waiting for the ideal woman, the ideal moment, the ideal inspiration. Stop scrolling. Stop numbing. Stop hiding. Too many men live their lives as though they are waiting for the ideal opportunity, the ideal job, or the ideal woman to come along and save them from themselves. However, that day never arrives because meaning is something you create, not something you wait for. One brick at a time. Daily. The first step is to rise early. Visiting a gym. Reading. Learning a skill. Contacting a person with whom you have lost contact. Reducing the addictions. Establishing objectives. Failing. Try once more. Getting into bed. Organizing your week. Initiating a project and persevering over difficulties. Nobody is going to help you with this. Not a lady. No supervisor. No mentor. Not a buddy. That initial step can only be taken by you. Everything begins to change, though, once you make the decision that you are done wandering. Meaning is found in struggle. There is no quick fix for living a purposeful life. No shortcut. Struggle is the way. It has always been. Struggle, however, is not the enemy. Greatness is forged in the furnace of struggle. You become the man you were destined to be when you take on responsibilities and accept difficulty instead of running away from it. Powerful. Unambiguous. With a purpose. Ability to support weight. Competent to guide others. When a woman joins your life, You bring her into something that is already powerful. You don't need her to complete you. You are valuable. Your mission is shared. By embodying love rather than seeking it, you inspire it. The real story of contentment. Consumption does not lead to fulfillment. Creation is the source of it. Establish discipline. Make health. Make something meaningful. Establish a relationship. Make love. Leave a legacy. Take on the challenging tasks. Boost your self-esteem. Don't blame the outside world. Give up waiting for the ideal opportunity. Today is your day. And today is sufficient. If you are currently alone, remember that your narrative need not finish there. However, don't allow your comfort to cause you to remain still. Don't let loneliness define who you are. There is more for you. So get up. Get up. Assume responsibility. Construct something. Because there is no purpose. It's fake. Get up, create, interact, love, and live. Not by themselves. However, awake.